80s Casual Classics was a website that we developed from sheer interest and enthusiasm for Fila, Sergio Tacchini, all the key sort of 80s Italian brands, Aless, Diodora, and then we've sort of looked into the sort of casuals more and brought back the Farahs, the lowest chords, kicker boots, pods, and in recent times we've really gone into Adidas and all the trainers and pretty much everything that people will remember from the 80s and sort of classic retro. Going back sort of 16 years with the start of the shop, we stumbled on some old Adidas product upstairs in a sports retailer in Bedford who was glad to see us clear him of stock he thought was kind of, you know, no chance of selling, and we acquired that. And during a sort of time of me being involved in music, Britpop, early 90s, a lot of the bands that used to come and play the venues would stop off at the shop, and the shop and music links were really strong. And during that period we had like Shed 7, Oasis, the Blue Tones all come to stop, Supergrass, and in particular in the early days of Oasis we were like key involved in getting them their trainers for the first 6 months, and in a lot of their videos they're wearing trainers that we acquired for them. And 2006 we got tapped up by Sergio Tacchini looking to make a comeback, and it was a brand that I remember, so we were keen to stock it from sort of past memories and the fact that they were relaunching, and they had cited some interest in a film, the business, which at the time we were just retailers buying clothes and we've never been involved with a film, so it was like, well, we'll buy the gear because we like it irrespective of the film. About the time the film came out in January on DVD, we'd got a promo booklet in the film listing us as stockists, and in January the phone started to ring and we got endless calls saying, can I have this top from Danny Dyer? And we didn't know much about it, so we went straight off and bought the Tacchini, the DVD with the Tacchini booklet in it, and it was #1 in the chart at the time of the business, so we knew sort of how popular it was. Watched the film, and then whenever one called up we took a note of what they were after. The product arrived in store a month after the film, so by then we'd already developed a big level of interest for the product, and people were then citing Fila as well, which we were getting some Fila in. So the minute it landed we'd already pretty much sold out of our first batch of stock, and it just developed from there, and eventually realised the lads ringing up were old casuals and there was a lot of stories that came from it, and slowly we just got involved in bringing Fila and Tacchini back and then chasing up a lot of other brands. Danny Dyer was swagging around in it in a way we remember strutting about in stuff in the 80s ourselves, and I think that personally that strut that I picked up back then has been with me ever since and been my interest in fashion. Whenever a box comes with new gear, I'll put it on and my staff will tell you I'll do a dance in the mirror if I like it, and if I don't I won't be doing a dance, and normally the one we do a dance on is the one we buy a lot of product. Because our website's got a big database of people who've been buying Fila and Sergio Tacchini, over time they've been requesting a lot of the less, and we get sent shots, and we've researched ourselves and gone to the sports site and we've found the images. We've put some up on the site and people have put their name down for like if we can get the top produced they'd be interested. So we've basically done a lot of research on what people are interested in, but over time you can soon spot what will be a winning style. It just has all of the elements of what was big in the 80s. We've got sort of 7 staff now full-time working on it, and on a Monday it's all hands-on. Post the weekend all the staff have to get involved in packing and meeting deadlines to get the product out, and you know we're getting regular shipments of like say 500 of a track top, and everyone's again hands-on having to organise that, and then regular meetings with the brands to set up for new styles. So it's become like obviously a full-time sort of passion and a job for 6 or 7 of us, and everyone who works here has been here from, or they haven't left, but that way once they've come here we're a pretty little casual family really, and everyone loves what they're doing. At times someone's questioned, is our success some computer-based skills of being found on the internet, and that's certainly not the case. We've come from retail and we've definitely not got any major computer website knowledge. We've picked up some over time. The key reason of our success is we stand for what we stand for, and we are about Sergio Tacchini, Fila and Aless. And Google knows that when someone Googles and looks for something, they've got to send people to a site that is what they're looking for. And luckily Google is clever enough to support sites that stand for what they stand for. So we've done well because we are what we are, and not through any clever mechanism of beating the system that other people seem to be involved in. There's no doubt that Scandinavia and Russia are examples of people that have picked up on the British football culture and are buying into it. And we've got stores in Russia and stores in Denmark that come to us to buy sort of wholesale products put out there. Luckily for us, the Euro translation that they can almost buy in England and can sell in their own country and make money without us having to suffer too much discounts here. But in Russia particularly, there's a store that regularly buys from the UK to supply in Russia, and Russia's just been key to us for a long while. And the good thing about the overseas customer, they won't be just buying one or two tops. They'll want to make sure they've got a good package of gear going over to the country in one go. And early days of putting Oasis on in Bedford, the first time out they didn't come to the shop, but they saw myself and a few other lads with me all wearing sort of retro Adidas trainers, and straight away, where'd you get them? And they were talking about, it was a bit one-upmanship at the time, because they were talking about, we want to get these trainers because we'll show the verve, and they were talking about Richard Ashcroft and how keen he was on Adidas, and you wait till he sees us with these. And originally they sent some of the roadies by the store, and they took a few trainers, but we booked in to see him at a gig in Ilford like 4 or 5 days in from the show I put on. We took a box of Adidas to the gig and basically met them backstage, and they were just like kids in a sweet shop going mad for the trainers. And then from that point on, we sourced more and more and kept going and visit them on the tour. We'd get on the guest list and arrive with a box of shoes. And one sort of story in London, we went down to see them at Astoria, which, to be fair, it was only probably 5 months into their sort of career launch. They were already playing to like 2,000 in London. And I'd got my car parked out the back of Astoria with loads of trainers in. Liam came out with one of the roadies, or tour manager, and he was quite keen to get first dibs before his brother got a looking at it. And it was very much the sort of stories you've heard of, don't show our kid these and stuff like that. And even if the shoe was more likely to fit Noel than it was Liam was convinced he was going to get his foot in the shoe, you know, whatever. His brother hadn't got to have them. And whilst we're standing there looking at the shoes, a policeman pulled up, you know, thinking something dodgy was going on, and I didn't have to say too much because Liam was just full of the mouth as you'd expect. And he just explained, look, we're a band, we're playing here, and this guy's come up, he's got a shop. Luckily I had a bag from the shop, Planet Clothing at the time, showed him the bag, and the policeman went on his way.